Hello and welcome to Up the Villa podcast. We've just played out a 0-0 draw against Wolves. So I've just got a new little purchase. It's a 95-96 away shirt. Had a bargain with it as well, so I'm buzzing about that one. But if you're new, subscribe. We're doing really well at the minute, so your support's great as well. So the game, tale of two halves really. I thought first half we played well. We created some good chances. Ollie Watkins was smashing the bar twice. We had some decent chances, and then second half we just wasn't at it. It was a different team came out. We couldn't pass the ball. We had no attacking intent. So bit of a frustrating one. So bring in Captain K. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good.
So what did you make of the game today?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it was a tale of two halves from the Villa. First half, dominated possession. I don't even think they had a single chance in that first half. Ollie Watkins, incredible shot to hit the bar. And then Ezri Konsa as well, smashing the bar from like 6 yards out or whatever it was. I think Sanson done really well in that first half. He was getting around, dictating the play. I think generally McGinn was putting himself about a bit as well. So I think we played really well in that first half. Just didn't really take our chances as well. That chance where Ollie Watkins kind of cut inside, and instead of shooting, he tried to lay it off to Traore, and obviously it didn't reach him. So that was quite frustrating. But I just thought I was worried. I was actually worried for the first time in a long time, thinking the longer it goes without us scoring, we're going to concede here. Thankfully, we didn't. Thank the world for Emi Martinez, because that save he pulled off in the second half was sensational. And I'm sorry, but he's definitely the best keeper in the league for me. I mean, people argue Ederson. I think Alisson has had a shaky one this season, but I think Emi or Ederson, for me, Emi all day long. But second half, just a shame. We just couldn't get a foothold in the game. We really, really missed Matty Cash on that right-hand side. Because as good as Elmo is kind of defensively, because Adama Traore did not get past Elmo once. So that was great to see. But Elmo just hasn't really got it going forward now. He gave away a foul throw. He gave away possession when we were under pressure, trying to hit like a long ball, and it just didn't get anywhere. We really missed Matty Cash for some attacking intent on the right-hand side. But they were coming down their right-hand side a lot in that second half. Shout out to Matt Targett, because he was doing a lot of running in that game, because Neto was coming in on the right a lot. And Matty Targett, whilst maybe offensively he didn't offer as much as he normally does, I think defensively he done really, really well today. But again, we were just too much on the back foot. I know Ross came on. I personally think that Sanson should have stayed on for a bit longer, and Trezeguet should have come off earlier. So I would have brought on Ross Barkley for Trezeguet and switched up the formation a little bit, perhaps, rather than the other way around. Ramsey done okay when he come on. Ross done okay in parts. But again, I think Ross Barkley needs Jack. Yeah. Ross needs Jack. I mean, it seems as though Jack can get the best out of Ross Barkley. I think Ross on his own, he doesn't do the impact doesn't have the impact that Jack does. Carrying them on his shoulders and being able to really lead the charge. I don't think Ross can do that. I think Ross really needs that quality of Jack to bring him in, and then Ross comes into his own in that regard. But I think a point is the fair result, to be honest.
To be fair, I think it is the fair result. I think we were better first half. They were a lot better second half.
Absolutely.
It just worried me slightly second half. We just couldn't get that foothold in the game, could we? Louise was a bit sloppy.
I didn't even see Louise in that second half. I don't even know where he was. I don't think he touched the ball. I mean, I can't really pick out anything that he did in that second half, to be honest with you. And I don't know why he went missing like that.
I mean, at the minute for me with Louise, it's as if he's getting swamped in there a little bit. It's a bit like what he was last season in parts,
Yeah.
His first touch, he lets it run away, and I'm on about the one when Martinez just rolled it to him, and it's like we're inviting pressure, which is the worry. We sort of architecting our own downfall at times. we set a tone, and we just allow the opposition to just come in and kind of steamroller us a little bit.
Absolutely.
I thought Traore was okay. You know, he's trying bits, isn't he? He's
Yes.
trying the give and go and the little flick, but it just doesn't work at times. So it's second half, just like we're saying, it's just more frustration. But I think we've got to maybe give credit to Wolves a little bit. You know, they are a really good team. Neto's a really good player. Like you said, I think Target played Neto really well, but you know, he's some footballer.
He is.
So, you know, Newcastle to come. Big game for us, really.
We need to get 3 points, man. We really do, because we really ground out a result today in that second half. That point, we didn't deserve 3 points today.
No.
So we really need to come out the blocks again, like we did in the first half of this game. You know, we came out the blocks early, which was good to see. So there was some sort of bounce back from the last game for sure, in their mentality, in their approach, and we've got to go on and punish Newcastle. We really do, and then that sets us up for the game after that, which I think is it Spurs?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be a big test for us as well. A resolute Spurs side after that, with dangerous players that can hit you on the counter. So we'll see. We'll see. Again, we're in that kind of stop start. We're sort of stuck in second gear at the minute. But like I've said before, I think 8th is where we're going to end up. That's where we deserve to be based on our performances. Anything more than that would be great, but I think we'll end up 8th still.
Cool, mate. Thanks for coming on again.
Mate, up the Villa. And one thing, just shout out to my boy. It was his birthday today. My boy Tylan, he was 5 years old today. He's another Villa fan joining our crew. So big up to our son Tylan. Thanks a lot. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa. Next, I'm joined by Seb. 3 players for me that stood out: Martinez, Watkins, and Target. They were our standout players by a mile. What did you make of the game as a whole then?
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I feel that Target really managed to nullify the threat of Pedro Neto. He managed to deal with him really well. He didn't really give him a sniff. I think he had one shot all game. So that was really good. You could tell he was winding him up as well. So that was getting to him, and that was giving us an advantage. Martinez, I mean, we wouldn't have got the point without him. That stunning save from Connor Cody to deny him. And it's no less than we deserved. I think we were good share for the points. Great save all round. And then Watkins, so unlucky. But that's almost been the story of his season. He's hit the woodwork 7 times this season, I think I remember seeing. And he added to that again today. He could have had 1. He could have had maybe 2. But it was one of those days. But the good thing about Watkins is when he has an off day in front of goal, I seem to find that he does everything just as good. So his hold-up play is never, ever lacking, and he's running in behind. He's always making the same runs. So he's still always a threat in every single game that we play. It was just the finishing that we lacked today.
He's really come into his own, especially in this Villa team. You can see him now leading the press, and he's calling for the next one to be following him after he's done his first movement. And I just think, he's showing it, not leadership, but he's leading from the front, which is now great to see as well. And he's just a quality striker. His movement's great. His finishing was great. The only one I thought he probably should have gone for was the one when he squared it to Traore. I think I want to see him greedy there. I want to see him just hitting that one. But he was brilliant, like you say. Neto, he's a fantastic player, and Target again had a very, very good game. He was dominant, wasn't he, really? Up against him. He played really well. I thought Elmo did better than he did the other day. I didn't think he was as bad. I thought he looked a little bit more assured at right back as well. And, Konsa, Mings, just standard, aren't they, really? What do you make of the midfield then? Because again, I thought first half, McGinn looked good first half, and then second half, the midfield just fell apart for me again. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I think the midfield is where we won or lost the game. I think the opening 45 minutes, we were really solid. We managed to build a stability there. and we broke from there. So Wolves found it really difficult to deal with us at times. Whereas in the second half, I think McGinn dropped 10 yards deeper, and that really cost us. It allowed Wolves to get some momentum, get on the ball in the middle of the park and really push forward. So I think that was where the game was decided for me. It was encouraging to see McGinn get forward for the opening 45. It shows that it is still there. The ability is still there, even though his performances probably haven't been up to scratch in the last few weeks. I think he was better today, more like his normal self. The helicopter in the middle of the park, I think you described it as halftime. Going back to Concern Mings, I completely agree. I mean, they've just flourished under each other this season. I think Esri Konsa could dispossess an elephant if he tried to. And then they had that one chance, the open goal missed. It was a great clearance by Saiss off the line. I think it was probably harder to miss than score, but that's a little bit of luck that you sometimes need in football. So as well as things went our way, there were also things that didn't go our way, but we've definitely given ourselves a platform to build on, and it's definitely progress from midweek.
I want to see us beating Newcastle. We've got to beat Newcastle now. Hopefully Jack's going to be back. We just need a win there, don't we? I'm craving to come on and do a podcast, and we've actually won a game. But anyway, thanks for coming on, Seb, and obviously we'll be back with the preview for Newcastle in the week. Thanks, mate.
No worries. Time to give Scott Parker a helping hand.
Yeah. So I'm delighted to say Craig's on, making his Up the Villa podcast debut. So how do you feel like today went then?
Well, I've got to say, when I looked at that team sheet today and saw Troy up against Al Mohammadi, I did have some concerns. But I thought first half we were great. Came at it really, really strong. Hit the bar a couple of times, obviously, with Konsa being really unlucky, I thought. But then second half, it just didn't come out at all. Really didn't. It was really sluggish. They really dominated, and a big save from Emi Martinez as well. I thought we come away with that with probably a decent point, but fairly disappointed in the second half.
All in all, it's a good point. But
it is.
Game of two halves, wasn't it? First half we were good. Second half they were a lot better. I think probably what would annoy Dean a little bit was the way we applied ourselves second half, the way we sort of allowed them to come on top a little bit. We sort of just went back a few yards, didn't we? I think every player was sort of going 5 or 10 yards a little bit further back from where they were the first half. So who do you feel like stood out for you today for Villa?
I thought Target had a fairly decent game at times. He was quite strong. Mings, as always, was solid. We were solid defensively, and with Emi Martinez in goal, I mean, what a tremendous acquisition he's been. We were always going to do quite well. I thought him bringing on Barkley for Sanson was probably the right move, but should he have maybe put him in a 10 rather than putting him in the 4-3-3? I don't know. I just felt like we just really tailed off and towards the end, and just need to be a little bit stronger towards the end of games and just keep that intensity going. That was a disappointing thing for me.
So where do you feel like we are at the minute? Because it's hard to gauge at the minute, isn't it? We've had a fantastic start. We've been explosive and dynamic at times, and it just feels like now we're just drifting a little bit backwards a little bit this season. So where are we? Where do you think we are?
Well, that European dream is waning a little bit, isn't it? But I think it's hard to judge without Jack, because it really is hard to judge without him, because you put him in that team and it's a completely different result. We just rely on him so much. I think we missed El Ghazi in a sense as well today. While Trezeguet was really lively in that first half, I think El Ghazi gives you just a little bit more on the ball. It's a tough one, isn't it? We really do need to start getting that intensity back, like throughout the whole game. Otherwise, we're just going to end mid-table. I know Justin talked about it being like a fairly decent position to end in, like on a previous podcast, which is sound judgment. But I just really wanted us to be pushing for that European place, and it is just drifting a little bit at the minute, isn't it?
I mean, I'm with you. I think when around that area and you're sniffing it, you just want to go for it, don't you? And take it. I mean, what I would probably say with us without Jack at the minute is, I know we are pretty much, he's our best player, let's be honest, and we do rely on him heavily, but I do feel like we are creating chances without him. I think the commentators alluded to Zaha and Palace. You know, when Zaha's not in the Palace team, they really, really do struggle. And don't get me wrong, we're not playing amazing football, but I do feel like we are creating chances. It's just that we're a little bit unlucky at times. So I think that's a point I'd probably like to make as well. I think, you know, we do try and play half decent without him. So
I mean, I don't know about you as well, but I think that sometimes like the set piece routines, like tonight, the attacking corner routine, I think we had 5 corners in the end, and we all played that little huddle where they play the ball in, and everyone just seems to run off in different directions. The ball doesn't go near any of them. I just think maybe that's something we need to look at as well, because we don't really offer a threat from set pieces.
I think obviously Conte has had 2 half chances in the last 2 games, hasn't he? But I do feel like that's an area that we should be adding 4 or 5 goals off our centre backs a season, maybe. And I think that's an area that we, like you're saying, we quite poor from, aren't we? Really, you know, we've got 2 big lads that go for the corners, and we don't really attack it with any intent. So I'm with you. I think set pieces, hitting the first man every time as well. You know, I do think when Barkley's on them, the corners are a little bit better compared to El Ghazi. But so quickly moving on to Newcastle then. What are your thoughts? Do you think we're going to get the win against Newcastle?
Yeah, I think we always tend to do quite well against Newcastle. I think, again, it's just about the setup. It depends if Jack's back again. Probably isn't going to be from the start, is he? So whether you keep McGinn and Louise as the 2 and maybe go back to a double pivot with Barkley in the pocket, or whether you stick with the 4-3-3. I'd probably like to see against Newcastle go in with the double pivot, to be honest with you. Like, I think the only threat they really have is down their left-hand side. So, I would like to see that double pivot and just have someone in the pocket to be able to play those little 1-2s with Watkins. Hopefully Al Ghazi's back on the left. We'll see what happens. And then, of course, more than anything, hopefully Jack's back and we can bring him into the fray. But no, I think we'll do well against Newcastle. I do. And we're solid defensively, right? And they don't offer that much threat up top. So if we can keep it solid and even if it's another nick of 1-0 win, then happy days.
They've got a lot of injuries as well, haven't they? They've got St. Maxim's out, Wilson's out as well. So we'd like to think we're going to get the 3 points. So it's been great chatting to you, mate. Thanks for coming on, and thanks everyone for listening. Up the Villa.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Up the Villa.